What's up, everybody? It's Zach. I'm here with LS Blue again, and I'm going to answer a couple of your questions. I've got a couple of people asking about the wiring on the truck. I'm going to go over that real quick with you all, and hopefully you'll understand how this truck's wired. It is wired a little bit different because it's a 96 model. I have a standalone harness that is just for the engine and transmission. The truck, the cab, and all the other stuff is completely different from any of the other models, from what I understand. I don't know why, but I'll show you all what I've got going on here. Now, disclaimer, like I've stated before, I'm not a professional doofus, but I'm not a professional wirer, whatever that word is. What is that word? Electrician. I'm not a professional electrician or anything, but I did most of this wiring back in early 2018, and I've only redone a couple things of it. So it's not the best, but it works, and I could probably redo it, make it a little bit better, or I could just, rip this whole computer out and go Holly, which is probably going to happen anyways. All right, so what we have here is we have a stock truck computer. It's like a 2001, 2002 Silverado 1500 computer with an entire standalone system. Now, the way I have it is I have my battery power from the very back in the bed running up to a distribution block right here. And it goes from the distribution block, it goes directly to the starter, and then it jumps around to the cab block here, this block. And then from there it goes to my subwoofer, and then from the block it also goes to my heater box here, these relays and stuff. And I also have a hot wire running from the alternator around to that. This power block I bought off of eBay. This block came factory on this truck. Don't get the two confused. That is only for like I said, that is only on a 96 model. I don't think the newer trucks or the older trucks have that. My key switch receives power from the block, the factory block. I have a wire that is hot while in the run mode and while in crank mode. I have that wire running to this fuse box here, and from the fuse box it goes to the computer. I also ran the key switch on wire from there to the alternator with a resistor in line. You've seen that video. That's a good one. We almost burnt the truck down because of that. Well, not really because of that, because of the switch. The way the fuel pump is wired up, it's going through, the computer tells this relay to send power to the pump when you turn the key on, and it primes the pump for 2 seconds or so. And I have a wire running from here back to the pump, which is underneath of here in the frame rail. It's a Walbro 255 inline pump, which is going to be upgraded soon to probably a 455, because I'm turning the nitrous up 100 horse, and it's going to be fun. So be on the lookout for that video. That's the way I have that. The 255 pump is good for up to like 600 horse. I'm probably going to be around 600 once I get the nitrous turned up, but just to be on the safe side, I'm probably going to upgrade the fuel pump and more than likely build a standalone nitrous fuel system for this thing. Now, the way these 96 models are set up from the factory is you have this block here that once you power it, it sends power to the cab, and that's how you make your radio work. It's how you power your fuse box that's in the door and everything else in there. I have the automatic locks and automatic windows, automatic, however you say it. And it also powers your windshield wipers and your cruise, which I don't have set up. Now, to make the factory gauges work, you have to go in through one of these plugs here. It's either this one or there's another one in there that I've cut up and tried to cut out. That is how you make your gauges work from the factory. I have these wires that are on the harness. They're labeled which wire goes to what for your oil pressure, your speedo, your tack, all that, but I just don't have them wired up. I never took the time to actually wire it into the dash. which is no big deal because I've got my little OBD2 ultra gauge that everybody asks about. The electric fans, this is an old thing that I wired up a long time ago. It comes off of here, comes from the power block here, fuse, comes to the relay. This is the relay that the wiring harness has. Like I said, these wires aren't the best. The wiring job I've done isn't the best, which is okay. The harness has a control wire which tells the computer, or tells this relay, to kick the fans on when the engine coolant temp gets up to around 180 degrees. Oh yeah. If you were at LS Fest and you've seen this little silver switch here, that is just a manual switch for my fans whenever I'm at the racetrack, because the fans only work when the truck is turned on. I haven't figured out how to get around that. I don't care because I have this here. I'm also running Dodge Intrepid dual fans. They do excellent with this 4.3 S10 radiator. I have all my ground cables. You can see there, I have the ground cable there going from the block to the frame, one going from the cab to the back of the head, one back here going from the battery underneath to the frame rail. It goes straight down to the frame rail right there. And I have a couple other grounds over here going from the frame up to my nitrous controller. And this is the cab grounds. I didn't really think that I would need these grounds here. This is for the bottle heater. I didn't think I would need these grounds, but in order for the headlights and the interior controls to work, those wires had to be grounded. As far as the cruise control is concerned, just good control on your right foot. That's normal, good cruise control in my experience. All my interior options are, like I've said, they are powered by that block there. I have power windows, I have power locks. My flip down sun visors, they have lights in them, they work. I have power mirrors, which don't work because my cow views are not power, they're basic because I was cheap. Everything inside except the horn. The horn doesn't work because I don't actually have a horn. But everything on the interior except the horn and the cruise control works. And obviously the AC, because, you know, just roll the windows down. I do not currently have a working fuel gauge because this dude has seen better days. And ignore my tape, I've got a hole drilled in my vent that spews gas everywhere whenever you stop or take a left-hand turn real hard, and it's 3/4 of the way full of fuel. But I have not wired up, and it doesn't look like I'm going to with this fitting. Oh well. Other than that, this truck is, it's just basic. I have the basic necessities and everything pretty much works. It could be done a little bit better. It kind of looks like a rat's nest, but I don't care. I'm not going to SEMA or any big major truck shows. LS Fest is the biggest show that I'm ever going to go to. If you're doing a swap on a 96, one of these relays, I can't remember which one, but one of those relays is for your taillights on the back of the truck, not the. I've had an issue with my third brake light working for the past 2 years, but not my rear brake lights. We figured that this relay here was in charge of sending power to the brake lights in the rear. So we rigged it up and we made it work. This is the way mine is wired up. I don't have reverse lights. I don't really need them. And then this one will light up as the brake light, and this is obviously the turn signal. One of these oval-shaped plugged pigtails is in charge of the rest of your lights, your gauge wires, everything else in the truck, if it's powered by this. 496. The other years might be different because they'll have a fuse box generally in this area. My fuse box in the door still works. All of the wires in there, all the fuses, they're there. They still work. They still pop if something happens. It's just got an LS in it now. The headlight harness, I completely made a custom harness. I found the wires in the dash that turn the headlights on with the switch. I built a harness that comes around to each side of the headlight, or to each side of the grill for the headlights and the turn signals, and I wired it up, and it's worked so far. Worked perfect. Now on these newer trucks like a 98 and up, or a 97, I think a 97, you can order a harness that is literally plug and play. You plug it into the fuse box and you go. BP Automotive makes one, and Current Performance Wiring makes one. They're both really good companies. I had a factory truck, a factory Silverado harness, modified to be standalone and not worry about any of the truck functions. Like I said, the wiring harness I have just controls the engine and the transmission. Everything else I have wired up separately, and I don't really have any issues with it now. All the bugs that I had last year and earlier this year with the voltage issue, I've pretty much resolved, and it's gone, and the truck is running perfect. I know this video is not going to be very helpful to some people, especially Blazers or four-wheel drives. I'm sorry. That's the best I can do because that's all that I have on this truck. But that's going to be all for this episode. Make sure you click thumbs up, drop a comment, subscribe, share this video to all your friends, and we'll see you.